Are you ready to fight like a champion, not just in the courtroom, but in every facet of your life? Welcome to the Legal Athlete Podcast. I'm Jess Sargus, your host, high-performance speaker, and coach for trial lawyers. With over 22 years as a trial attorney and legal exec, and an undefeated record as a former MMA fighter and boxer, I know what it takes to thrive in high-stakes environments. I also know that in both the courtroom and the cage, you're only as good as your wins. That's why I'm here to help you develop a fighter's mindset, discipline, and strategies so you can master your mental game and execute under pressure to win more and burn out less. Every week, I fuse insights from elite athletics, legal pros, and cutting-edge neuroscience and sports psychology to help you perform at your peak under pressure. So whether you're looking to reinvent your practice, your mindset, or your life, this is the podcast for you. It's time to become a legal athlete. Let's get it. Hey, legal athletes. Welcome back to the Legal Athlete Podcast, where we break down high-performance strategies used by elite athletes and apply them to the high-stakes world of trial law. I'm your host, Jess Sargus, and today we're diving into a mindset and preparation technique that will transform the way you approach trial. We've all heard the phrase, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It's a core principle of elite military training and a quote often attributed to Bruce Lee. But the idea is simple. If you take your time to prepare deliberately and methodically, your execution will be smoother. And when execution is smooth, speed follows naturally. For trial lawyers, nothing is more valuable than your time, and especially as trial approaches. So when a fellow coach asked me recently why time-strapped lawyers would devote 8 hours to my trial fight camp program, my answer was clear. Because those 8 strategic hours coaching with me save them far more than the time they cost. By committing to focused, deliberate preparation, lawyers eliminate wasted time, reduce stress, and create a system that allows them to execute at their peak under pressure at trial. The true cost of trial isn't just the hours you put in, it's the mental strain, the second guessing, the inefficiencies that come from scattered or reactive preparation. But when you know your preparation has been on point and complete, there is no calmer sense of confidence that you can have walking into that courtroom on trial day. I've seen this over and over through fight camps with professional boxers and mixed martial arts fighters as they prepare for battle too. Here's one story I'll share with you to give you a sense of how this worked for one pro fighter in particular, to give you a sense of what a fight camp method of preparation really does. One of our pro fighters, Joey Angelo, got a call to take on a rising star in the next state over. We knew that he got that call because the Stars team thought our fighter would lose. We were underdogs by intention and design, but that was their intention. We knew with the right strategic, physical, and mental preparation, we could pull off the upset in front of the formidable favorite's hometown. So that's how fight camp went. Then, the night of the fight, both fighters and their teams were in the tunnel, staying loose and warm, preparing to get the walkout call and signal. Joey was looking over at the other team, and we could see his focus was shifting. So our head coach signaled him to work the pads a bit and keep moving with him. And then he asked him, "Could you have done anything else to prepare for this fight?" "No, coach." "Could you have spent any more hours in the gym?" "No, coach." "Could you have had any better game plan for this fight?" "No, coach." And then he signaled Joey to give him his stunningly high jump knee on the pads. This is a secret weapon that Joey had. Joey glanced over to the other team and he said, "They're watching, coach." And coach said, "Let them watch. Let them see exactly what we're going to do to them." and they still won't be able to stop it. Let them watch. Yes, coach. Joey showed them that jump knee over and over in that tunnel. And then we walked out and he pulled off an upset so stunning in that main event that the hometown crowd in that stadium was eerily quiet. But we clapped, we cheered, we knew that it was our fight camp, that mental and physical preparation, and the absolute certainty that we had been intentional in preparing to our full capabilities. That was the reason our fighter dominated that day. So, how does this apply for you, for trial lawyers strapped for every moment in the lead up to trial? In today's episode, I'm going to break down why trial preparation needs to be deliberate, structured, and systematized, not just an endless grind of working harder. I'll also break down 4 mental performance techniques rooted in neuroscience that optimize your focus, strategic thinking, and make the most of the time you have to prepare for trial. And then I'll also talk about how you maintain focus and use strategic resets at trial to sustain your peak performance throughout even the highest pressure moments. And at the end of this episode, I'll give you actionable strategies you can implement today to start building your own trial fight camp mindset. So let's get it. First, the problem with traditional trial prep. Now, the problem isn't that lawyers don't prepare for trial, it's how they prepare. Traditionally, that approach is often frantic, reactive, and inefficient. Put in the spaces between the other work that you have to do without a whole bunch of intention. It can be overloaded with last-minute research, filled with late-night scrambles to draft motions or refine openings or closings, and it can rely on sheer willpower instead of structured systems. This type of preparation takes a mental and physical toll. Decision fatigue starts to lead to some strategic blind spots. Poor sleep and stress diminish your cognitive function at the exact moment that you need optimal sharpness. And over concentration on minor details might cause lawyers to miss the big picture. That's why Trial Fight Camp reframes preparation as a performance process, just like a pro fighter training for a championship fight. It's deliberate practice over random hard work. It's mental conditioning to execute under pressure. And it's recovery strategies to ensure stamina for the entire trial. When you train like an elite athlete, an elite legal athlete, you don't just survive trial, you control it and you dominate it. So let's talk about the mental performance techniques for trial, just a few of them here, where you can train like an elite legal athlete. Now that we've established the why for a structured strategic approach and why that saves you time, stress, and energy in trial prep, let's talk about the how. Just like elite athletes train for peak performance under pressure, trial lawyers need to develop a mental framework that allows them to execute with confidence, clarity, and resilience in the courtroom. That's where these 4 mental performance techniques for trial come in. And there may be others depending on exactly what it is that you need, that your team needs, but these are 4 of the core mental performance go-tos for me when I'm doing a trial fight camp. First, you want to use the trial MVP system that I've come up with. Now, the regular MVP system that I've developed for regular coaching clients and for athletes has a little bit of a different twist. This one is focused specifically on your MVP for trial. So that's your mission, your vision, and your core principles. One of the biggest mistakes trial lawyers make is failing to define what truly matters most in their case. Instead of being overwhelmed by every possible argument or piece of evidence or potential jury reaction, you need a trial MVP framework, a structured way to ensure your preparation stays focused on what will win your case. So first part, mission. What is the one sentence theme you want the jury to take away from your trial presentation? If they could only remember one thing about your case, what would it be? Number 2 is vision. What are the critical strategic elements that you must establish to win? Identify these core pillars early so you can build your evidence, witness testimony, and argument structure around them. And then finally, your core principles. What are the legal standards that must be applied in your case? Once you clarify these, you can match each piece of evidence and testimony you present at trial to reinforce these principles in your favor. When you build your case around a clear trial MVP process, just like this, you're not just preparing, you're engineering your win. This ensures that every decision you make in trial has a direct impact on achieving your ideal outcome. It's efficiency in motion. Second technique is time management, the MIT method, the most important task method. Now, you could break down your entire week into hour-by-hour scheduling, but most trialers I know don't have the extra time to do this. It's much simpler, it's much less decision fatigue, much less organization fatigue to use this MIT most important task method. Trial prep is a high-pressure sprint and a long-term endurance challenge. And so time always being your most valuable resource, you want to make the best use of it. Instead of feeling buried under an avalanche of tasks, use MIT method, the most important task method, to take control of your preparation by first, identify the 1 to 3 max most important tasks for each of the next 8 weeks leading up to trial. Now, there may be some others that you are going to end up adding, but you want to make sure that you've got the 1 to 3 most important tasks that you've identified for each of the weeks leading up to trial. Next, you're going to time block completing these tasks on your calendar before less critical tasks steal your focus. Third, you're going to treat these MIT time blocks like court dates. They are non-negotiable commitments to yourself and to your case. Now, what's the biggest benefit from using this MIT system? Your brain operates best under structured goals. Knowing exactly what to focus on prevents decision fatigue, reduces stress, and ensures you're making steady progress without last-minute chaos. Now, the third methodology that I like to use during a trial fight camp is the E+R=O method, pre-trial visualization and rehearsal. Trial performance isn't just about knowledge. It's about executing under pressure. It's about the actions that you take and don't take. That's why top performers in sports, military operations, and high-stakes business negotiations rely on a system like this. My system is event plus response equals outcome training. I got this from mental performance master coach Brian Kane. So first, the event. You're going to visualize likely trial scenarios, both the ones you're hoping for and the ones you fear. Next, you're going to plan your response, pre-plan your reaction, whether it's adjusting your cross-examination approach, pivoting your argument, or handling an unexpected objection. Could even be pre-planning if you know that your opposing counsel is particularly contentious, then you can pre-plan how you're going to deal with that in the moment to maintain the composure, to maintain the persona that you want to project for yourself and for your client to that jury. And then 3, outcome. When trial day comes, you're going to be mentally primed to execute smoothly because your brain has already lived these moments before. By incorporating vivid visualization and mental rehearsal into your prep, not just of how you want things to go, but how you'll handle them if they don't go that way, if they go the way that you fear they might, you're actually building automatic responses to trial stressors. That means less thinking at trial time about what you should do, less stress, and more winning under pressure with intentionality. And the fourth and final technique that you're going to practice prior to trial that is going to be your best friend during trial is how to maintain focus and use strategic resets. The two methods in particular I'm going to help you with are the win method and the physiological sigh. You've heard me talk about these before, but these are critical weapons in your focus arsenal at trial. So now that we've covered how to prepare like a high-performance athlete in the weeks leading up to trial, let's talk a little bit about how you stay focused, composed, and adaptable in the heat of the moment. Because let's be honest, trial never goes exactly as planned. There are going to be unexpected objections. There could be witness curveballs, surprise rulings. Your ability to reset and refocus in real time is what separates elite trial lawyers from those who unravel under pressure and don't perform optimally. So that's where these two game-changing performance tools come in. The win method is what's important now, and two, the physiological sigh is a fast-acting reset for your brain and nervous system. So the win method, at any given moment in trial, there are infinite possible distractions competing for your attention. Your opponent's arguments, juror reactions, evidence issues, last-minute witness concerns, a rowdy gallery, a contentious questioner. The more you let these distractions pull you in different directions and away from your strategic purpose, the less effective you become. But elite performers, whether they're in sports, combat, or law, they fight this with a laser-sharp focus on the present moment by constantly asking themselves, what's important now? This win method helps you quickly reorient yourself and cut through the noise during high-pressure moments so that you can stay focused on the task that is going to move the needle forward right now. What is the next best thing to do? So when your opponent makes an unexpected argument, for example, you'll ask yourself, what's important now? Should you react immediately, or is the smarter move to stay composed and address it later? What's important now? Plan that out in advance. And then when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, if there's just too much activity, there's been too many high-stakes rulings, too many pivotal evidentiary rulings or witness testimony right in a row, and you're getting overwhelmed, you're going to ask yourself, what's important now? Ground yourself. Recognize that you're coming out of focus. Take a breath and recenter on your trial MVP, your mission, your vision, the core principles that you need to establish. By training yourself to constantly reset your focus on the present moment, you're eliminating wasted energy and staying in a strategic, high-performance mindset, even in the most chaotic trial situations. Now, the number 2 method here for during trial for a reset is the physiological sigh. This is the fast-acting reset for your brain and nervous system. In fact, the physiological sigh is one of the most powerful research-backed tools for instant stress relief and refocus. Used by elite athletes, military operators, and top performers in high-stakes environments from law to business and beyond, it's the fastest way to regulate your nervous system and sharpen your thinking under pressure. So what is it? It's this 2-step breathing technique that immediately reduces stress, increases oxygen to your brain, and sharpens your focus. Here's how you do it. You're going to take a sharp inhale through your nose and then take a second, shorter inhale on top of it. So your lungs are fully expanded and then just a little bit extra on top of it to make sure they're absolutely fully expanded. Second step, you're going to exhale slowly and fully through your mouth. So it sounds like this. Deep breath. Second shorter inhale. And then exhale slowly. I like to do this for a count of 8 at least. So why does this work? Neuroscientific research shows that the double inhale helps re-expand collapsed alveoli in your lungs, maximizing oxygen intake, while the extended exhale signals your nervous system to calm down. You can even hear in my voice, I just did one physiological sigh, and immediately I am in a more relaxed place. I'm not quite as high energy. Maybe not be as good for a podcast. So let's bring it back up. So trial moments where this technique is a game changer. Right before cross-examining a hostile witness, for example, it's going to ensure that you stay composed and in control and begin your questioning from a place of calm and confidence. You might also use this after a heated exchange with opposing counsel, so you don't carry reactive energy into your next argument, advancing your key MVP. And then you could also use it during jury selection or opening statements, or even during your closing argument to keep you calm, clear, and confident in the moment. Now, the best part, it takes less than 10 seconds and can be done anywhere without anyone noticing. That's why it's used by fighter pilots and pro athletes and any elite performer, because in moments of stress, your ability to control your physiology directly impacts your ability to perform. By combining the WIN method and the physiological sigh, you have 2 elite level tools that will keep you focused, adaptable, and in control throughout the entire trial, even if you need a focus or a stress reset. So finally, let's sum up. Actionable takeaways, training for precision and control at trial. To bring this all together, let's go over the key strategies you can start implementing right now to ensure your trial preparation and execution are as smooth, precise, and effective as possible. Number 1, lock in your trial MVP. Define your mission, your vision, and your core principles for this case. Make sure that every argument, every piece of evidence, every witness, and every question is intentional and reinforces them. Keep your one-sentence trial theme front and center. This is the anchor for your entire trial, your preparation, and your execution. Number 2, you're going to master time blocking and your MIT system, your most important tasks. So you're going to identify your most important tasks that you need to complete each of the weeks of your trial prep, no more than 1 to 3 each week. Then you're going to time block them into your schedule before anything else steals your focus. And then you're going to treat these tasks as non-negotiable trial prep appointments with yourself. Those are the promises that you will keep each week. Third, you're going to train your mind for execution under pressure. Use the E+R=O system, the event plus response equals outcome, to mentally rehearse and vividly visualize possible trial scenarios. Visualize both expected and unexpected challenges and pre-plan your responses so they're automatic on the day. By living these moments in advance, you're making your execution simple, easy, automatic on trial day. And then finally, you're going to use the techniques to stay focused and reset strategically during trial of the WIN method and the physiological sigh. So use the WIN method, what's important now, to stay locked in on real-time priorities, and then implement the physiological sigh to instantly reset your nervous system and sharpen your focus. And if things go sideways, you won't get derailed. You're going to reset and re-engage immediately. Now, if you want one final bonus, you want to optimize your total system for peak performance through all of this. Remember, trial really is a marathon, even though it feels like a marathon of sprints. So you need to treat yourself like an athlete. You want to dial in your physical readiness, your mental conditioning, emotional regulation, and purpose-driven execution by taking care of your body, getting the rest and the recovery and the movement and the nutrition and the sleep that you need even while you're preparing for trial. You need to use those appointments as non-negotiables as well so that you are ready to perform at your peak at trial. Things like hydration and movement and recovery are not luxuries. They are your performance tools. They are your elite advantage. So we started today with the idea that trial preparation should be as methodical and strategic as fight camp for an elite athlete. The goal is not to rush, it's to prepare with precision. If you rush through trial prep, skipping strategy, and failing to lock in your routines, you'll be slower and more chaotic when it matters most, when every minute, every hour matters to you. But if you train deliberately, if you put in the reps, focus on precision and intentionality, and control what you can control, then when trial day comes, your execution will be fast, fluid, and dominant. The best trial lawyers aren't just legal experts. They're elite performers. And just like world-class athletes, they need to train for the moment when the lights are on, the stakes are high, and they need to deliver their absolute best. Trial camp isn't about just spending more time. It's about spending intentional, high-impact time, working smarter, that makes everything else easier and faster. It's about preparing at the highest level so you can walk into trial not just ready, but confident that you have controlled the controllables, done everything that you could do to prepare in the most strategic way possible in the time that you had. So as you prepare for your next trial, ask yourself, are you training like an elite performer? Are you preparing in a way that eliminates stress, builds confidence, and sharpens execution? And are you investing in the systems that are going to make your trial days smoother and more effective? If not, now is the time you can change that. You can apply these tools on your own, or if you'd like to accelerate and hone your trial prep process even more with professional trial fight camp coaching for you or your team, you can send me a message on LinkedIn or the email below in the show notes. We can get you set up for your best trial performance yet by preparing like an elite fighter. So when you prepare highly intentionally for trial, slow and smooth, investing in the time you need to plan intentionally, your execution in the courtroom is confident, fast, sharp, and precise. Remember, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Until next time, legal athletes, train smart, execute with precision, and focus under pressure, and use that as your elite edge to win your next trial. Thank you for joining me on the Legal Athlete Podcast. If you're ready to take your mental game to the next level, let's connect. Want me to speak to your group or team? Or are you ready for one-on-one trial fight camp coaching to perform at your best when it matters most? Reach out to me with a direct message on LinkedIn or through my website at thelegalathlete.com. Until next time, remember that the best version of yourself isn't some future version. It's the you who makes your daily choices. So make great ones. Make the ones that keep you on that champion fighter journey, building a record and a life you love.